Have you ever imagined waking up in America and the river is gone? On a freezing night in 1811, the Mississippi River did the impossible. It flowed backward. The ground rolled like ocean waves, cabins split apart, forests sank into the earth, church bells rang in Boston, over 1,000 miles away. This wasn't California. This was the American heartland. 3 massive earthquakes struck between 1811 and 1812, so powerful they reshaped the Mississippi River and created entire lakes overnight. People believed it was the end of the world, but America survived. And today, beneath cities like Memphis and St. Louis, the same fault line still rests, quiet, waiting. Because sometimes the most powerful forces in America aren't political, they're geological. On the morning the river disappeared, no one in Cairo, Illinois could believe it was truly gone. At dawn, they stood along the levee, warm coffee cups in their hands, staring at the horizon. Something felt wrong. The Mississippi River had always been there, wide, muddy, restless. It carried boats, drifting logs, and sometimes secrets. It carried the history of America itself. But on that spring morning in 1812, the river did something no one could have imagined. It began to flow backward. Old Elijah Carter, who had worked the docks since he was a boy, dropped his tin cup into the mud. The current reversed, dragging boats upstream against the wind. Sandbars rose from the water like the backs of giant beasts. Fish thrashed wildly in the shallows. Then the ground began to shake. This is the story of a disaster so powerful that church bells rang in Boston, sidewalks cracked in Washington City, and the Mississippi River temporarily changed its course. It is real history, hidden in diaries, letters, and government records. A story of survival, science, and the immense power beneath America's heartland. It was the winter of 1811. The United States was still a young nation. Beyond the Appalachian Mountains, settlers were moving west, clearing forests and building farms. The Mississippi River was their highway, their lifeline. In a small settlement called New Madrid in the Missouri Territory, life was difficult but hopeful. Wooden cabins lined muddy roads, smoke rose from chimneys, boats creaked at the docks. Among the settlers lived a schoolteacher named Samuel Whitaker. He had moved west with his wife Margaret and their 2 children. Samuel kept a careful journal, recording the weather, crops, and rumors drifting along the river. On December 15, 1811, he wrote, "Strange stillness tonight. Dogs are restless. Horses refuse to settle." At 2:15 a.m. on December 16th, the earth exploded. Survivors later said the ground rolled like ocean waves. Cabins split apart. Trees whipped violently. A deep roar filled the air, as if rising from the center of the earth itself. Samuel was thrown from his bed. The fireplace stones collapsed inward. Margaret grabbed the children as the cabin floor bent beneath them. Outside, the earth split open in long cracks. Fences and livestock disappeared into the fissures. In some places, sand and water shot into the air like fountains. The Mississippi River churned violently. Parts of the riverbed rose, creating temporary waterfalls. The shaking lasted nearly 3 minutes. More than 1,000 miles away, church bells rang in Boston without anyone touching them. In Washington City, President James Madison reportedly felt the tremors. Chimneys collapsed in Cincinnati. In Charleston, South Carolina, people ran into the streets. It was one of the most powerful earthquake sequences in North American history. But it wasn't over. Over the next 3 months, even stronger earthquakes struck on January 23rd and February 7th, 1812. Each one reshaped the land. Forests sunk, lakes formed overnight. Reelfoot Lake in present-day Tennessee was created this way. Samuel's journal became filled with fear. January 23rd, the river roared again. The ground split near the farm. Neighbors are weeping. February 7th, the greatest shock yet. The land rose like a great swell. It felt like the end of the world. Some witnesses saw faint lights glowing in the night sky, likely caused by electrical discharges from extreme geological stress. The air smelled of sulfur. Many believed Judgment Day had arrived. Years passed. The War of 1812 began. The earthquakes faded into memory, but the land never truly became silent. Today we know this region as the New Madrid seismic zone. Modern research shows that if a similar earthquake struck today, major cities like Memphis and St. Louis could suffer catastrophic damage. Because of the dense bedrock in the Midwest, seismic waves unravel much farther than in places like California.
200 years ago, on a dark winter night, the Mississippi River flowed backward. Today the river is calm, ships pass peacefully, children attend school. People believe the ground is solid and secure, but deep beneath the surface, silent forces still remain. The earthquakes of 1811-1812 remind us that while humanity may seem small before nature, human resilience is powerful. The earth shook, America endured, and that story still sleeps beneath the soil.